You may believe that specifications are supporting documents created after engineering decisions have already been made, but that assumption creates procurement disputes, inconsistent bids, fabrication errors, testing conflicts, and expensive site changes. Specifications are contractual engineering documents, and every sentence can influence what suppliers price, what manufacturers build, what inspectors accept, and what contractors install. When you prepare specifications, your responsibility is not to describe everything you know about equipment, materials, or construction. Your responsibility is to define the technical requirements needed to achieve safe, compliant, reliable, and verifiable project outcomes. Specifications must remain clear, correct, complete, and concise. When one of these qualities is missing, engineering intent becomes vulnerable to interpretation. The first decision concerns the type of specification required. Functional specifications define performance criteria, baseline equipment requirements, and standardized supply expectations. They describe what systems must achieve without unnecessarily dictating how suppliers must achieve those results. Detailed specifications define requirements for design, materials, fabrication, manufacturing, installation, inspection, testing, and documentation. Procurement specifications support the acquisition of engineered equipment, fabricated packages, commodities, and technical services. Construction and performance specifications define methods, procedures, materials, erection requirements, installation practices, inspections, and acceptance activities. Other specifications may establish design criteria, system philosophies, engineering services, or execution requirements. Not every purchase requires extensive specifications. Simple equipment may be adequately defined through completed data sheets, drawings, and requisitions. Complex equipment, integrated packages, and technically sensitive materials normally require specifications because essential requirements cannot be captured safely through data sheets alone. More pages do not automatically produce better specifications. Appropriate detail produces better specifications. Every specification should begin with a disciplined structure. The scope section must define boundaries, interfaces, and significant requirements without becoming overloaded with technical detail. Related specifications should be identified by accurate titles without unnecessary revision information. Definitions should include only project-specific terminology that may otherwise create ambiguity. Contractual terms such as purchaser, contractor, supplier, and principal must remain consistent with definitions established in purchase orders, contracts, and commercial conditions. Referenced codes and standards must be selected carefully. When specifications reference complete standards, the referenced requirements generally become contractual requirements, unless exclusions are clearly stated. Highlighting selected clauses while remaining silent about others can create confusion because suppliers may question whether unmentioned clauses remain applicable. Specify exact standards, designations, and applicable provisions. Statements such as comply with applicable standards or comply with industry requirements are too broad to administer and too vague to enforce. References must identify the relevant issuing organizations, standard numbers, titles, additions, and selected options where required. Do not copy entire standards into project specifications. Use recognized standards to reduce unnecessary text, establish accepted practices, and support consistent manufacturing or construction. However, references must remain current, relevant, and commercially practical. Canceled or obsolete standards must not be replaced merely because substitute titles appear similar. Technical content, design intent, and applicability must be reviewed before substitutions are accepted. Project teams must also define which editions govern the work. Referenced editions should align with editions used during design, manufacture, and construction. When latest editions are required, the contractual reference date must be clear, such as the edition effective at purchase order award. Uncontrolled references to latest editions can create commercial uncertainty when standards change during execution. Specifications, data sheets, and drawings must operate as coordinated documents. Specifications should define performance, materials, workmanship, inspection, testing, certification, and documentation. Drawings should show dimensions, locations, shapes, connections, arrangements, and installation details. Data sheets should contain equipment-specific process conditions, capacities, ratings, and selected characteristics. Do not place dimensions in specifications when drawings define those dimensions. Do not repeat datasheet values in specifications unless repetition is essential for interpretation or safety. Repeated information eventually becomes inconsistent information because separate documents are revised at different times. Complementary documents reduce conflict. Duplicate documents multiply conflict. Every requirement should have an intentional document location and a controlled source of truth. General requirements should address design criteria, operating modes, equipment ratings, utility conditions, design life, reliability, and discipline-specific expectations. These sections should not repeat project-wide requirements already established through general specifications for coatings, piping materials, environmental conditions, noise limits, insulation, welding, or site conditions. Reference established project documents instead of reproducing their contents. Specific requirements should define features unique to the equipment, materials, systems, or work packages being procured. Inspection and testing sections should identify required examinations, hold points, factory acceptance tests, load tests, hydrostatic tests, loop checks, pre-commissioning checks, and acceptance records. Generic procedures should be referenced rather than copied. Equipment-specific requirements should be stated directly. Materials of construction must be defined clearly when datasheets do not provide complete definitions. Fabrication requirements should state required manufacturing methods such as forging, casting, welding, heat treatment, machining, and surface preparation. Protective coating requirements should include only project-specific additions or exceptions. Transportation requirements should address technical shipment constraints rather than repeating standard packing instructions. Spare parts, special tools, and documentation requirements should remain measurable and aligned with operational needs. A reliable specification does not begin by copying previous project documents and changing project names. Previous specifications may provide useful starting structures, but every inherited requirement must be reviewed. Different projects have different process conditions, climates, regulations, interfaces, operating philosophies, reliability targets, and commercial strategies. Copied text often preserves outdated standards, incompatible materials, obsolete terminology, and hidden assumptions. Familiar wording can appear credible while remaining technically wrong. Treat previous specifications as inputs requiring engineering validation, not as approved solutions. Manufacturer information requires similar caution. Specifications intended for competitive bidding must define generic performance and technical requirements rather than reproduce features unique to selected manufacturers. Model numbers and proprietary descriptions can unintentionally convert open competition into concealed sole source procurement. Sole source requirements should be exceptional, technically justified, and formally approved. When sole source procurement is genuinely required, specifications must state the restriction clearly, rather than implying competition that does not exist. Expressions such as approved equal should also be used carefully. Equality cannot be assessed unless specifications define essential performance, materials, dimensions, interfaces, certifications, and life cycle requirements. Approval authorities must be identified. Written approvals should be required where approvals affect compliance. Personal preferences are not engineering criteria. Restrictions on manufacturers, materials, or technologies require demonstrable technical, safety, regulatory, operational, or compatibility justifications. Overspecification creates its own risks. Unnecessary tests, excessive documentation, redundant inspections, special labeling, and unrealistic material restrictions increase cost and schedule duration without improving project outcomes. Requirements should exist because project risks, regulations, operations, or design conditions require them. Under-specification transfers unresolved engineering decisions to suppliers or contractors. Over-specification constrains practical solutions and increases commercial exposure. Effective specifications establish sufficient control without eliminating justified engineering flexibility. Avoid statements that sound responsible but cannot be measured. Terms such as best quality, first-class workmanship, reputable manufacturer, properly installed, carefully performed, suitable for intended purposes, and all applicable standards create impressions without acceptance criteria. Replace vague expectations with measurable requirements. Define material grades, dimensional tolerances, surface finishes, inspection methods, test pressures, operating capacities, allowable deviations, certification requirements, and acceptance limits. When standards do not provide suitable parameters, specifications must create objective criteria. Commercial warranties, guarantee periods, penalties, bonuses, and financial remedies belong in commercial documents. Specifications should contain technical performance obligations. Technical guarantees must identify what is guaranteed, the minimum or maximum acceptable values, test methods, operating conditions, correction factors, measurement tolerances, and required records. A statement that equipment shall meet guaranteed performance means very little unless performance conditions are defined. Capacity at what inlet condition, efficiency at what load, noise measured where, vibration evaluated according to which method, and emissions corrected to which reference basis must all be clear. Specification language must reflect contractual significance. Use mandatory language consistently. Shall establishes mandatory requirements. Should communicates recommendations. Will indicates future actions performed by purchasers, construction managers, or other identified parties. Mixing these terms weakens interpretation. Use imperative language when directing actions. Statements such as submit certified test reports, perform hydrostatic testing, and install equipment level and aligned communicate responsibilities efficiently. Use indicative language when defining materials, conditions, or characteristics, such as motor enclosures shall be suitable for classified areas. Do not switch randomly between imperative and passive constructions. Consistent sentence structures improve readability and reduce interpretive uncertainty. Keep sentences direct, complete, and reasonably short. Complex sentences containing multiple conditions, exceptions, and cross-references are difficult to administer and easy to misread. Use the same term for the same item throughout the documents. Do not alternate casually between package, unit, machine, equipment, assembly, and system when those terms may imply different boundaries. Define technical terms that could support multiple interpretations. Pronouns should be minimized because references become uncertain in technical text. Repeat the relevant nouns when necessary. Supplier shall submit drawings before fabrication is clearer than statements where they, it, this, or same could refer to multiple subjects. Use quantity for counts, lengths, areas, and volumes, while amount generally applies to money. Use ensure when requirements make outcomes certain, assure when giving confidence, and ensure when discussing insurance. Use flammable rather than inflammable. Use install for placing items into service, furnish for supplying items, and provide when requirements include making items available. Avoid and/or. Determine whether combined requirements apply together or whether alternatives apply separately. Use and or according to the intended logic. Avoid any. When every item must comply because any can imply discretionary selections. Use each where individual compliance is required. Values must be identified as minimum, maximum, nominal, approximate, or subject to stated tolerances. A number without qualification can create disputes about acceptable deviations. Units must remain consistent with project requirements and design bases. Numbers, dates, abbreviations, symbols, capitalization, and punctuation must follow controlled conventions throughout the document set. Abbreviations save space only when readers understand them. Use recognized abbreviations on drawings, data sheets, and tables where space is limited. Spell out uncertain abbreviations in specification text. Symbols that can become corrupted during document conversion, printing, or electronic transmission should be avoided where written terms provide greater clarity. Grammar is not cosmetic within contractual engineering documents. Subject and verb agreement, parallel construction, modifier placement, and punctuation influence technical meaning. Tests shall determine strength and establishing quality contains inconsistent construction. Perform tests to determine strength and establish quality provides a clear and parallel requirement. Commas can change the population to which requirements apply. Restrictive and non-restrictive clauses must therefore be used deliberately. Sentences should be constructed so that minor punctuation errors cannot reverse engineering intent. Cross-references should be limited and controlled. Excessive references force readers to move repeatedly among documents and increase the probability that revisions create broken links. Use general references where detailed drawing references are unnecessary. Use cross-references when they avoid substantial repetition or standardized project-wide practices, but do not create document mazes. Attachments should be used only where they improve control, such as incorporated datasheets or schedules. Important requirements should not be buried in attachments without clear references and defined contractual status. Streamlined writing can improve technical accessibility. Formats such as Portland Cement ASTM C150 Type 1 or Equipment Install Plumbing Level place key subjects first and make requirements easier to locate. Streamlining must remain consistent with the project's contractual writing conventions. Before issuing specifications, perform coordinated reviews. Verify technical completeness, document interfaces, standards, equipment boundaries, operating conditions, material selections, inspection requirements, testing criteria, and required deliverables. Confirm that commercial clauses have not entered technical documents and that technical obligations have not been omitted from purchase packages. Check every shall statement and ask whether compliance can be demonstrated. Check every adjective and ask whether acceptance criteria exist. Check every reference document and ask whether the reference is necessary, available, and current. Check every repeated value and ask whether duplication can be removed. Ask what suppliers must price, what manufacturers must design, what inspectors must verify, what operators must receive, and what project teams must enforce. If the documents do not provide consistent answers, the specifications are not ready for issue. Effective specifications are not created through longer writing. They are created through disciplined engineering decisions expressed with precise contractual language. They reduce uncertainty before uncertainty becomes claims, delays, redesigns, or field compromises. When you improve specification quality, you improve bid comparability, supplier accountability, design coordination, inspection effectiveness, testing reliability, construction execution, and lifecycle performance. You convert engineering intent into requirements that project participants can understand, price, execute, and verify. Review the specifications within your current projects. Identify duplicated data, vague statements, undefined responsibilities, obsolete standards, proprietary wording, and unmeasurable expectations. Correct them before procurement or construction exposes the weaknesses. For support with engineering specifications, procurement documents, design guidelines, control systems, automation strategies, or project execution frameworks, get in touch. Like this episode, share it with engineers and managers who prepare or approve technical documents, and subscribe to the channel for more engineering education and implementation guidance. Follow my LinkedIn newsletter for detailed discussions on engineering design, management, project controls, automation, and progressive leadership. File site turn file 0